I love meeting kids with good manners. Joining me right now is Bill, a psychologist from Pine Rest Christian Services, to answer questions from our viewers. Welcome.
Thank you.
It's good to see you. I feel like I need to shake your hands to start this off properly.
Great.
So we've gathered some tough questions that I hope you can help answer.
Okay.
So let's get it started. Our very first question, you can see it there on the screen. It's from a viewer, and let's listen first about what she's going to ask.
One is, how do you discipline kids under 3? It always seems you can discipline kids, 3 and above, because they understand consequences, but I have an 11-month-old who's throwing tantrums already, rolling on the ground, screaming. And I just want to know how to discipline that age grade.
The 11-month-old rolling around having that little tantrum. Do you discipline an 11-month-old, and how do you do it?
Well, it's a different situation, because at that age, they're just exploring their world. And they're testing out themselves, and they're testing out what's around them. And we call it a temper tantrum because it annoys us.
Right, because our temper is
That's right.
escalating.
Yeah, they may not be having a temper tantrum. They may feel frustrated. And if we can figure out what's frustrating them, we can offer them that, because at that age, they can't tell us.
So maybe we shouldn't use the word discipline when it comes to that particular one.
I don't think so. I think rather we need to pay attention to kind of what are they looking for? What are they needing? How can we meet that need so they won't feel frustrated? If they're not frustrated, then they don't need to have the temper tantrum, as we call it.
Let's look at our second question, because that's really good, and I think this one will lead right into that.
When children are traveling between 2 homes and the rules are slightly different between homes, how do you address those topics? How do you keep a good balance for the children without undermining the other parent?
Well, when they're traveling between 2 homes, obviously the parents have divorced. And so they probably do have some different perspectives on parenting, and it gets really challenging. What we need to do is just focus on what we can do that's best for our child, and not be thinking about what the other person is doing with our children, because we have no control over that. We only have control over what we're doing to try to help our kids feel healthy and strong. So it's frustrating if we're so focused on what the other person is doing rather than what we're doing that can best serve the child.
I like what you said. We really have no control about what others do. We can only handle what we do.
Exactly.
All right, let's look at our next question.
My question is, we are very strict in our house, and my kids know the rules, but when we have friends over for play dates, for dinner, we feel like there's a lot of lack of discipline, and they just kind of let the kids run free. How do we handle that? Do we step in to protect our own home and our children, or do we leave it up to those parents to make those decisions?
Oh, I'll tell you, that's a tough one.
It is a tough one.
Because I thought about that one. It's kind of like, you have to make a choice. If you're going to enjoy these friends, maybe you enjoy them without the kids present.
So we just say, you're welcome to come over for dinner, but leave the kids home.
Something like that. Or go and see what their home is like. What's it like at their home? Are the kids as undisciplined there? You may then make the decision that putting your kids with their kids just isn't going to work out. You can be friends, but not all kids can be friends with everybody's, else's friends. So don't set yourself up for that kind of situation, because nobody wants to be told, your kids are really poorly disciplined and you better do something about it.
You'll lose your friend that way.
You will.
All right, our fourth and final question.
How do you deal with girl drama? Being left out, arguments with friends? At what point do you get involved? What do you need to tell them so they can handle it on their own?
That one's a little easier. It starts with listening. Listen to the child, the girl. What's going on? What are they thinking about? What are they concerned about? What do they see their peers doing that's upsetting to them? And do some problem solving with them. Don't solve it for them. Say, well, what do you think you could do here? Or what do you think you could do there? And what would happen if you did this? Help them kind of think through it, because they're the ones that are going to have to live through it. And you can reduce the drama by kind of getting them to look at the reality of it. And that's hard, because in their heads, it gets made up as being terrible and awful, which maybe it won't be. But if you can give them some ideas, as well as listen to what they're really trying to get through, I think you can help them through that.
So don't add to the drama by grabbing the phone, calling the other moms, creating a big bee's nest.
Yes,
please don't. Bill, thank you so much. We could spend all day chatting on this topic, and we'll probably bring you back to talk more about it, because it is big in family life.
Okay.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.